You're fine.
Hi, everybody. Bob Lazaro from All Things Leland. Thank you for joining us. I'm pleased to have with us our guest, Dr. Mouhcine Guettabi, Regional Economist for the University of North Carolina in Wilmington. Talk about all things demographics and economics in the town of Leland and in Brunswick County. I know you have a couple of screens to share, Dr. Guettabi, so I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks for having me, Bob. I thought I would start with a basic graph that hopefully gives people a sense of just how severe the changes have been in the Brunswick County area. What you see on the screen is what we refer to as a population pyramid. A population pyramid typically looks like a triangle where you have a fairly robust base, meaning a large number of younger individuals, and the number of people starts to shrink as you get towards the 75 and older group. Brunswick County looks very different in that it has what I refer abundantly clear is that there are more people in just about every age group in 2024 than there were in 2017. Furthermore, there are considerably more people in the 65 and older age groups than there were in 2017. However, I think, and this dispels one of the myths about the area, is that it's potentially not attracting any young people. And these numbers show a slightly different situation in that, yes, it is attracting, the area is indeed attracting younger people. Those age groups are not growing by the same magnitude as well, reflecting some of these changes that I described. And so this is a starting point. I think that what
Mhm.
would help is potentially to show whether these increases are coming from what we refer to as natural changes, meaning is this because the number of births exceed the number of deaths by a large number, or is it because other people are moving into the area? I'm just gonna stop sharing for a second to switch screens.
Sure.
And walk you through some of these numbers.
And while you're doing that, I think the interesting thing on that previous chart was, and what's driving some of the local government expense here, certainly at the county level in schools, is the growing number of school-aged children. So while yes, there are a lot of people my age here, there are a lot of other younger people coming with children as well.
I think that's an incredibly important point because I think that there are these strongly held beliefs that nobody below the age of 30 is moving to the area. But in fact, as the data shows us, those age groups are indeed growing. The below age group is growing and growing fairly fast. Obviously, not at the same rate as people over the age of 65, but there is still growth. And
Mhm.
so this, rather than focusing on age group decompositions, the screen that you look at just shows you population changes by year for the four county region. Brunswick County is in the upper left hand corner, and it kind of looks very different than even other counties in the region that are growing really fast for a couple of things that are important. One is the growth or the sheer number of individuals moving to Brunswick County dwarfs that of New Hanover or Pender. And then furthermore, one of the things that's interesting is that most of the state and most of the counties in the state that had been experiencing growth during COVID have decelerated over the last couple of years. That's certainly not the case for Brunswick County. So two things that are important here. One, is, I'm not showing it here, but Brunswick County was growing before COVID. It continued growing as a result of the COVID recalibration or migratory decisions. Growth increased during COVID, meaning it took those trends that we were experiencing and it kind of put them on steroids. And we're not really seeing a deceleration as of yet in Brunswick County. And like many other parts of the state and other parts of the country where winners of the COVID pandemic or state that received a lot of individuals have been seeing this deceleration. So the next natural question to me when you see population change like this is to ask, where is this coming from? Is this coming from domestic migration and or relocations from other parts of the country? Or is this because the number of births exceed the number of deaths? Probably not surprising to anybody, this is all coming from domestic migration. So the numbers are quite striking in that the numbers of domestic migration actually exceed those of population change. And that's not a mistake. That's telling us that these numbers are essentially larger than the population changes because, as I'll show you in a second, the number of people being born in Brunswick County is less than the number of people dying every year. So these numbers you look at here for 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023 and 2024 are telling a really striking story that we have essentially on average post 2020, an average of 8,000 individuals moving into Brunswick County. As you and I have previously discussed, these are people that are moving from other parts of the country, but also people relocating from within the state. There are some fairly important distinctions between people who move from within versus from outside of the state. Those that move from outside the state tend to be a little bit older, a little bit richer, and those that move from within the state tend to have characteristics that are fairly similar to the current residents of Brunswick County. The split historically had been about 50-50. The pandemic has tilted it a little bit more towards out-of-state migrants, but these are really significant changes in a very short period of time. So a significant number of people moving in from other parts of the state or the country, older for the most part, well off financially. And so this is going to put stress on infrastructure, on resources, on demand for amenities. And so just to kind of belabor the point a little bit more, I'm going to show you the thing that I think is important to understand, which is that absent this migration, Brunswick County would have had fewer individuals. And therefore, again, all of the growth, all of the changes is the result of these relocations and not the result of natural change, which is births minus deaths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were on a different conversation joking about all the different color license plates that you see sometimes during the month, and then because people are moving here from different places. I know we have a limited amount of time, and we had some technical difficulties earlier. Just so folks understand, I mean, the town of Leland is projected to be at 74,000 plus people come 2045. Brunswick County is the fastest growing county in North Carolina. And the state is the fourth fastest growing state in the country. So people are moving here for a reason. Just interesting, in this short period of time we have left, what is the impact, in your opinion, on workforce and economics?
Well, I mean, the area is changing not just demographically or from a population perspective. There is also what I refer to as an industrial composition shift, right? And so the area is attracting some manufacturing. It's now the types of jobs available in the area is shifting. A non-negligible number of residents of Brunswick County historically have had to commute outside of the county in order to work. In New Hanover in particular, that's now changing. And so